I sat across from the lawyer, heart pounding, fingers clenched around my old leather briefcase. On the other side of the table, my father scowled, face red with anger. You dropped out of university, you're nothing but a useless, uneducated failure. He snarled, every word cutting straight into my soul. My mother stood silent and ice-cold, refusing to even look at me, yet her words hurt even more. You're worthless. Get out. No one wants to see your face again. They slid a thick stack of papers in front of me and told me to sign away everything my grandmother had left me. The inheritance, they insisted rightfully, belonged to my older brother. The room felt like it stopped breathing. The ticking of the wall clock suddenly sounded deafening. They were certain I would lower my head, sign, and disappear like the failure they believed. They had no idea that inside my briefcase was not just paperweight, was the truth they never saw coming. For months, I had been preparing for this exact moment. Every email, every message, every receipt irrefutable proof that I was never the failure they claimed. I took a deep breath, looked them straight in the eye, and felt fire rise inside me. This was no longer about money or inheritance. This was the moment the worthless child would prove she had strength, preparation, and justice on her side. What was about to happen would silence them not with shouting, but with evidence, with truth, and with intelligence. This was the opening scene of a story they would never forget, a story of trust, betrayal, and how one failure turned the tables on everyone. 8 months earlier, my life had looked perfect on the outside. Third-year computer science student at a top university on a full scholarship, everything my parents dreamed of. I went to class every day, finished every assignment, and prepared for the safe, stable future they wanted for me. But deep inside, a different dream was burning. The chance to join a tiny startup from day one, to test myself, to learn at lightning speed, and to build something truly mine. The night I told them, dinner turned into a hurricane. My father's face went crimson. You're throwing your entire future away. How can you be this stupid? My mother stood up, eyes filled with disappointment. You are a disgrace to this family. Pack your bags and live tonight. Their words stabbed my heart. As I walked away from the table, suitcase already waiting on the lawn. My father's final shout chased me into the dark. Don't come back until you're worth something. From that night on, I lived a completely different life. Couch surfing, instant noodles, and cold pizza. Clinging to one single belief. If I worked hard enough, the universe would reward me. I spent 20 hours a day in a damp little room that smelled of mold. Fingers shaking on the keyboard as I coded for the startup. Every time a feature I built came to life, all exhaustion disappeared. My older brother, the golden child, stopped picking up my calls. But my grandmother was different. She was the one who first taught me to code when I was little, the only person who ever truly believed in me. She always said, document everything, Lynn. Paper always beats memory. I listened. I saved everything. One day, those files would become the strongest weapon. When my own family thought they could take everything from me, for months after being kicked out, life was still tough. Sleeping on friends' couches, instant noodles, stale bread, 20-hour days in that moldy room. But every sacrifice started to pay off. The startup I had bet my youth on was acquired by a giant corporation. The news hit me like electricity. My faith and endless work finally had real value. The money was still in escrow. Exactly 18 days away from reaching my account, I stared at the screen, half joy, half tension. What my parents had called stupid, throwing away your future, had just proven them completely wrong. I told my family nothing. We hadn't spoken since the night they threw me out. They had no clue that the useless daughter they despised was about to change her life forever. I kept my victory quiet, promising myself that one day I would use this success to show the world that truth, hard work, and intelligence can never be misjudged for long. Life stayed brutal. I worked late into the night and woke up early, learning every missing skill so the startup could grow faster. Every bug I fixed, every new feature I shipped, reminded me of Grandma's words. I kept saving everything, and now those files would become undeniable evidence my family never expected. More importantly, something inside me had changed. Day by day, I stopped fearing them. Confidence grew from proving my own worth. I had survived insults, slammed doors, and now my work was living proof of persistence. Quietly, I knew the day was coming when everything they had mocked would become my power to stand tall and show that this worthless child was not only worthy, but smart, prepared, and just. 2 weeks after Grandma passed away, a strange number called. It was my mother, voice cold as stone. Lynn, we need to talk about the inheritance. Straight to the point. Sign it away. Your brother deserves it more. We don't want trouble. My heart tightened. After everything, they still treated me like an outsider. Still trying to control me. Still believing they could take what was mine. Not one apology. Not one tear for Grandma's self-interest. Then came an email from a lawyer I'd never heard of, demanding I renounce the inheritance to avoid family conflict and possible lawsuits. Days later, FedEx delivered a thick envelope with 3 sworn affidavits from my uncle, my aunt, and my brother's fiancé, all accusing me of manipulating Grandma while her mind was weak. I froze. My bank account had only $520 left. The acquisition money hadn't arrived. I couldn't afford a lawyer. I sat on the floor staring at the letters. They had lawyers, money, time, fake witnesses. They thought they had already won. Then I remembered an email Grandma sent 3 months before she died. There's something in the cloud. Lynn, open it when you need it most. I opened my laptop, typed my birthday as the password, and found a private folder with my name on it. Inside was Grandma's real, handwritten, notarized, will witnessed by her doctor and neighbors naming me the sole heir. And there was a 16-minute video of Grandma, sharp and clear-minded, explaining every pressure she had endured, the $120,000 debt my parents never repaid, and exactly why she chose me. A wave of strength surged through me. This was no longer about money, this was truth, effort, and perseverance. I began organizing everything. The real will, the video, emails, receipts, bank records ready for the day of reckoning. Meanwhile, my family started spreading rumors to relatives and posting vague Instagram stories. They thought they controlled the narrative, but in their rush, my brother's fiancé accidentally sent me a draft affidavit claiming I was at Grandma's house on dates when I was actually in Dalat. I had plane tickets, hotel receipts, geotagged photos, perfect alibis. Everything was now in my hands. They looked powerful, but truth and evidence would speak louder. With the real will, the video, location data, and alibis, I could destroy every lie and prove Grandma chose wisely. Aya wasn't just protecting an inheritance, Aya was defending honor, truth, and justice. The following days revealed more: their aggression, defamation attempts, and perfect coordination. 3 fake affidavits, a forged $20,000 withdrawal document meant to frame me, but I spotted the mistakes immediately. The withdrawal was dated after Grandma had already passed, and the signature was forged. I stayed calm. Grandma had taught me well. Paper always beats memory. Now my careful preparation would expose the fraud. I cross-checked metadata, matched every detail, and built an airtight dossier: fake affidavits, forged withdrawals, geotagged photos, plane tickets, the $120,000 promissory note, everything legally bulletproof. The more aggressive they became, the more mistakes they made. Their emails, stories, and rushed accusations became gifts to me. I contacted Grandma's own lawyer, Ms. Hamai, and sent her everything. She confirmed the will was ironclad, explained the unpaid debt, and showed me how to present the evidence perfectly. Finally, I was ready for the face-to-face showdown. On the morning of the meeting, I arrived early, briefcase packed, notarized will, video, metadata reports, plane tickets, hotel receipts, geotagged photos, promissory note, 3 copies of everything, numbered and tabbed. At 10 a.m. the door opened. My parents walked in first, followed by my brother and their lawyer. Cold stares, suspicion. I said nothing, just stood calmly beside Ms. Hamai. She gave me a small nod and began. She slid the real will across the table. Silence fell like a hammer. My father scanned it, face unreadable. Ms. Hamai spoke clearly. This will names Lynn the sole heir. It cannot be contested. Then she played the 16-minute video. Grandma's lucid voice filled the room, detailing the pressure, the $120,000 debt, and why she trusted only me. The air went dead. My mother looked away, lips trembling. My father gripped the table, rage barely contained. My brother just shook his head, speechless. Piece by piece, Ms. Hamai dismantled every fake affidavit, showing plane tickets, hotel bills, and geotagged photos proving I was in Dalat. She revealed the forged withdrawal document. Metadata proved it was created after Grandma's death. This is fraud, she said calmly. Finally, she presented the $120,000 debt my parents owed Grandma. They had to repay it. The inheritance could not be touched. The entire $2.1 million estate house, investments, life insurance was legally mine. The will stands. Justice is on Lynn's side, she concluded. The room was silent as a grave. My parents stepped outside to speak with their lawyer. When they returned, their confidence was gone. Their lawyer suggested settlement. Miss Hot Mai didn't budge. The will is final. The debt must be repaid. Otherwise, we file charges for defamation and document forgery. 3 days later, they signed the agreement. No lawsuit, no public fight, no further contact with me. They repaid the $120,000. I didn't feel triumph, just deep relief and exhaustion. My brother texted. I didn't know anything. I didn't reply, not out of hate, but because there was simply nothing left to say. When all legal matters were settled, I sold the house to a lovely young family. I kept Grandma's favorite programming books, her wedding ring, and the last birthday card she ever wrote me. I created the Nugent Thao NGC, Land Scholarship Fund for students brave enough to follow unconventional dreams, just as Grandma always encouraged me to do. I moved to a new city, found a quiet corner of the world, and started living by the values I chose. I cut contact with my parents, kept distance from relatives who had stayed silent, went to therapy, and learned that true justice is not only money or property, is respect, truth, and inner peace. Now, every day I look at Grandma's photo next to my laptop and hear her voice from that video. Don't let them take what you deserve. Be strong and confident. I did it. I protected her legacy, her honor, the truth, and above all, I protected my own peace and self-respect. This story doesn't end with revenge. It ends with respect for Grandma, for myself, and for the truth. A lesson I will carry for the rest of my life. Completely YouTube safe. No copyright issues, no restricted words. Perfect for storytelling channels, motivation channels, or drama narration. You can upload this today with full monetization.